week of rehearsals were absolutely terrifying because we still weren't exactly sure how we were gonna approach the work. So a lot of it was sort of the blind leading the blind, and just every day it became more and more clear about what the rules of the world were.
You'll have to not forgive us, but this is day one, so there's a lot to cover.
Yeah. You know, genuine devising happens in the room with the full ensemble. So we tried to keep our influence to a minimum to some degree until we were able to get into the room with the students so that everybody could claim ownership of it together.
Few things. Has everyone seen the skeleton? Me and Eric revisited it this past weekend. Didn't make any major amendments, but again, this sort of bullet point is fluid. So if someone has a bright idea, like, don't be quiet.
We had some sort of conscious idea about the ordinary world, or like the given circumstances that we wanted to explore. Thematically, like our thesis from the beginning revolved around the idea of like borders and lines and separation.
We're all writing this, and so this week and probably part of next week, what we're going to try and do is establish the world that we live in.
We knew early on that like we just wanted this piece of fabric, and we never shied away from that or said no to it. And I'm happy knowing that choice was the right choice.
This piece of fabric that, like, in my mind's eye, like, will stretch. We're talking like an 80-foot piece of fabric that is the line. Like, it will be the line, but it will like be constantly like moving.
And we will be manipulating. And we'll be seeing all of that the same way that like you will be manipulating the walls.
But the cast themselves in the first couple of weeks, we gave them license to develop and create like their own individual characters within the context of these two groups and these two worlds. And as an ensemble, just started defining rules.
What is it do you think that you're seeing that's getting swept under the rug? One thing. Take 5 minutes. So this is what we played for you guys the other day, very briefly. And there's like some basic harmonies that we've sort of come up with, so we'll teach you those. And then other than that, I'm just gonna like encourage people to sort of improvise vocally.
We didn't really come in with any music either, because again, we thought that would be cheating. Whether we were writing it with the cast or we were working on it by ourselves, it had to be here.
There'll be this scene where the community members are sort of out at the line, maybe like sweeping things like under the fabric, or they're sort of doing like a community pickup, and that's when you guys decide to sort of reveal yourselves. And we're thinking
Discovering the story and the narrative, and the same thing with our band, the Hollows back in New York. It's always been a very sort of organic process. It's rare that someone would walk into the room and say, this is what you're playing, go. It's more about, here's a rough sketch, all right, now how can we shade it, how can we color it?
Oh, oh,
The first song, all of the lyrics, all came from the cast. And we didn't even ask them to write lyrics necessarily. We played them a melody, or we brought in our guitars and we played them some stuff. And then the next rehearsal, it's like so-and-so or so-and-so or so-and-so had lyrics.
There's like live instrumentation in the show too.
Yeah.
You know, like talented students.
The live music moments in this show are just, I think, are so awesome,
really
powerful, really powerful.
Since my sister left, like, and I mean, like, to an extent my mom, but like also them, like, I'm constantly like...
Finally realizing that the idea of like heavily structured improv, or etudes as we call them, was we realized probably by the middle of week 2 that was the key.
How do you think like we would react as a group? I think it's like a question that like I'm like interested in like starting to maybe like peek at in this scene? Just the sense of like what if someone like that seemed non-threatening like decided to just like come into town? Like how would like what do you think would happen?
What if there was another community?
You mean like one just like ours, but out there?
Yeah. But I don't think there's anything.
That would be really cool.
Can you imagine, like, other people just like us? But what if they're not just like us?
Then what
Is
are
that
they
possible?
like?
I don't know.
If we just give the cast some basic rules and this is where the scene starts, this is what needs to happen in the middle, and this is what's coming next. And by the fourth or fifth time that they would do it, it was incredible how consistent they were honoring the text that they had improvised.
We dedicate ourselves to the purpose of the one and the line that protects us from all.
You may be seated. I appreciate everyone showing up on time. You are all looking very lovely today. Moving on to the weather.
Yes, as you have noticed, we have had lovely weather, 4 weeks of sun. However, be on the lookout for some rain coming in the next days. Just a little bit.
Everything is coasting along smoothly in terms of our rations and our resources. Everything should continue to be met so long as we continue onto our normal routine.
I told you, change is a good thing. We need more change.
Hands, Corey.
No.
Yes.
No.
Your sister was the same way.
She's gone because of you!
Corey.
No, you know I'm not lying. You know she wouldn't leave. She's gone because of you.
Enough, Miriam, please.
If you really kept us safe, she wouldn't be gone. Corey! If you really kept us safe, she wouldn't be gone!
Sorry about that. No need to be concerned.
Singing, I got some words, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, please.
This is the beginning of it. So when I clap, we start. 3, 2, 1.
Lights up on a mysterious young woman.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Now meeting in 5 minutes.
Last night, me and Kwiatkowski were like way back.
A remembrance of those who have passed beyond the line and are no longer with us. Please close your eyes. And that's over.
Well, what you don't have is colors.
The theater itself is particular. It's an interesting and unique space, and one in which we both love, but it has its own like challenges.
Before we even had a story, or before we even had half of the narrative finished, we had to have finalized drawings for a set. Challenging to design something when it doesn't exist yet.
Are we gonna have this special on when they move it?
One thing that I'm so happy about is the line itself, and what the line looks like under the light.
And that's been really interesting work to be a part of and see kind of come to life on stage, and seeing how the story really gets fleshed out and really starts to come together has been really cool so far.
Working with DK and Erik, it has been really, really fun. They basically at the beginning of the process, they said, hey, we want you to be super creative with this. We want all of your creative energy. Right now we're dyeing fabric for the Mother Earth dress. So that's going to be super cool. It's all tattery and beautiful and nice. So right here, this is one of the dresses for the drifters. I found this at Goodwill. I don't know who had it before we did. For the wall people, for the heads that stick out of the wall.
Is your sister's name also Corey?
big problem.
Well, the wall is interesting because the wall, the genesis, like the idea of the wall was DK's. He had this idea for a wall made out of body parts that I found incredibly intriguing.
That's great.
Shorter and shorter, don't they? Hey, how's the weather down there?
And I just thought it would be fun to stick most of the cast behind a giant wall and make them figure it out.
Then why did you whack us? How are you looking? What did we do to deserve it? I'm sorry, I mean, I didn't mean to hurt you.
Hurt us?
You little shrimp.
Tech is
a giant, massive jigsaw puzzle.
Hold please. We're gonna take it back to hold please, hold please. We're gonna skip ahead. Hold please. Hold please, 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 hold please.
Tech is stressful. You know, it always is. It requires trust, patience, and a commitment to the pursuit of the same common goal. I think like cast, crew, design team, the entire department like is really, I feel like, genuinely unified on the same page and in pursuit of a common goal. And you know, if you have that going for you, I think it's impossible to fail.
And I am really happy to say that everyone's incredible hard work and focus is going to pay off. And I have to say that I'm incredibly impressed with like the staff and the students who have gone above and beyond. Yeah, I know you worked on that for the last 3 or 4 hours. It doesn't work. I need you to change it. And nobody even batting an eyelash.
Absolutely.
Just doing the work, doing the work. I will say, like, again, like, being here, I am impressed with everyone's talent and all of their skills, but more importantly, I think we're both blown away by the work ethic that still exists in this
And like
department.
the commitment to excellence. MCEACHRAN, as stage manager, has been like absolutely bulletproof and has just continued to say yes and like do whatever needs to be done to like execute our collective vision. Kenneth Chamberlain, Nils Fritjofsen as sound and lighting designers have gone like well above and beyond passion and excitement for the project and like the ways in which like they've been able to execute our shared vision. So it really takes a village, you know, and we're humbled that like we have so many people who climbed on board this ship that we're driving.